Hello everyone, I'm Brior and welcome back to Goodgame Empire. In today's video I have a custom unique equipment set to share with you all that provides some great stats for a sneaky commander. If you don't know what a sneaky commander is, it's a commander with a lot of late detection and travel speed that can be used to catch another player's attackers unaware. The commander I'll show you in this video has the maximum possible late detection, travel speed, and ranged combat strength. Beyond that, it offers a 71% increase to melee combat strength, and depending upon what gems you choose to apply to it, could easily have plus 50 courtyard combat strength as well. If you were to pair this commander up with fast-moving troops like wolfhounds, samurai attackers, or best of all, assassins, I'm confident you would create very short horns and deadly attacks. In the interest of making this video no longer than it needs to be, here are the pieces of equipment that compose the set. The Guardian of the Forest is obtainable from the Spring Nights Festival, which is known to most players as the Spring Seasonal Event. It's the last prize you can earn and thus requires 1,275 season points, so it can be difficult to get. This hero is important for our set, however, since it offers additional late detection that will go beyond the regular equipment max. It's also one of 3 items from the Spring Commander set that we're using here, so it's needed to obtain the 30% late detection set bonus. The Barbed Helmet is obtainable from the Foreign Invasion or the Bloodcrow Invasion. Look for it as the last point-based reward for both of these events. It offers late detection, ranged combat strength, and moat reduction. The Quartz Hammer is another piece that comes from the Spring Nights Festival. It's earned at 209 seasonal points, so it's a lot easier to obtain than the Guardian of the Forest. It provides melee and ranged combat strength and reduces the enemy's moat protection. The Spiked Breastplate can be won during the Foreign or Bloodcrow invasions. It provides melee combat strength and late detection while reducing the enemy's gate protection. This piece, together with the Barbed Helmet, will increase the travel speed of your army by 60%. Finally, the Spring Catcher is the artifact from the Spring Commander set, earned at 573 points during the Spring Nights Festival. The Spirit Catcher provides ranged combat strength, late detection, and travel speed, making it one of the more important items of this set. As you can see, I've added courtyard gems to my pieces, and the overall stats are pretty impressive. There isn't much you could do to improve upon this commander, but one thing you've been able to do for a while is to apply unique gems that go beyond the attribute caps. For example, here are the gems that went along with the Prince of Thieves equipment set Goodgame Studios introduced last fall. You'll notice that these unique gems provide bonuses not present on normal gems, including additional late detection and travel speed. These bonuses were not taken into account when it came to restricting commanders to 90% late detection and 80% travel speed. Therefore, applying these gems to these pieces once created a super commander. Goodgame Studios eventually picked up on this though, and has since said that the developers consider it to be an exploit. I personally don't think it's an exploit at all, even though I don't want players to have undetectable commanders. The developers really should have foreseen that players would look to make interesting custom combinations of gear. I can't blame another player for trying to create the best possible commander. You can tell Goodgame Studios sort of saw this coming because they made it so that you couldn't get any set bonuses just from using the gems. But apparently they forgot to think about sneaky commanders. If you have all of these pieces lying around for whatever reason, you can actually still make a super sneaky commander, but Goodgame Studios has said it will be enforcing the equipment caps to include gems starting sometime in May. If this happens, the cost for removing gems will be temporarily changed to 0, so that players who have made sets like these will have the opportunity to make changes. There was actually a major backlash to the announcement when it was made, and Goodgame Studios removed some of the restrictions, but the restrictions to travel speed and late detection will still apply. One upside to using these pieces of equipment with regular courtyard gems is that you can actually store them as regular commander sets. I normally have 3 working foreigner sets and 1 druid set, but for this video I switched the pieces around to make the sneaky commander. This way it doesn't take up any space in one's inventory. I should mention that in order to turn these pieces into a good sneaky commander, you will need to take out a small loan and visit the Technicus. I got rather unlucky. It cost me 22 million coins to upgrade all of these pieces to plus 20. So now that we've seen the stats that this equipment provides, I'd like to do a simple demonstration of how good the commander is. I've asked a fellow Alliance member who has a very similar commander to send an attack in my direction. Siamara does have the nail-biter gems I was just talking about, so her commander is slightly better than mine. I've been told the attack is coming toward my Brior Food 1 outpost, where I've taken off all of my Castellan equipment and removed my troops. I do have a level 6 watchtower in this castle, and I have performed the research that offers earlier detection for PvP attacks. I'm told the attack is composed of 32 wolfhounds, and that it was sent using fast travel feathers from a castle with a level 3 stables. I was able to detect the attack when it was a mere 48 seconds out. You'll notice all of my castles in green are very close together, so I'm able to quickly send troops between them, but not even I would be able to beat 48 seconds. Indeed, it would be difficult to even open my gates in time if the game was being slow. Siamara and I wanted to get an idea of how long the horn would be if one attacked a castle without a watchtower. I launched an attack on her in Sands, and the horn time was 1 minute. As I said, her commander is slightly better than mine. She also left her Castellan gear equipped, and that provided plus 48% earlier detection. A horn that's around 1 minute gives the target a very short window to react, so it's almost guaranteed to take out their troops if they are offline. Players who are online might well be in another tab, or they might be editing a Good Game Empire video for YouTube, so you could probably catch them. If you're looking to make attacks of this commander, you should use fast-moving troops. Samurai troops are easily obtainable and move fairly quickly. Wolfhounds are very fast, but are weaker and are counted as melee troops, so they'd only get a 71% bonus from this set. Assassins obtained from the Thorn Kingdom event or from Ruby offers would be the best combination of attack power and speed. The easiest targets are players who have no defenders at the castle and who are only defending one flank. This is because with a sneaky commander, you usually want to take the fight to the courtyard because sending tools to handle the wall defenders will slow your army down. So what could you do to protect yourself from attacks like these? You could purchase or upgrade your watchtowers, perform early detection research, allocate Hall of Legends points towards early detection, build and equip Castellans with early detection, and or store more defense troops in your castle. If you like to defend with a setup of 33-33-33, you'll only need enough defenders to cover the wall, but keep in mind the setup is almost always terrible when it comes to defending against actual full-strength PvP attacks. I hope you enjoyed today's video, and if you would like to pursue this commander in the future by tackling either the Foreign Invasion or the Spring Knights Festival, good luck. Hello, quick update for you. I'm stuck in this box. Google actually forced us creators to make new end screens to accommodate their new end cards. You've probably seen them before. I've been really slow to make the change. Anyways, you can click or press that flashing circle below me to subscribe to the channel, or you could click or press one of the rectangles to my left to go watch another video that I've made. So either way, I hope you do those things. Once again, thank you very much for watching. If you've ever wondered what I look like, this is it. So hello, and I hope you have a great day. Bye-bye.